Good afternoon, everyone. How are we all doing? How are we all feeling on this fine Wednesday afternoon in the UK? It is Wednesday afternoon, isn't it? I think it's Wednesday afternoon. How are we all doing anyway? Good to see you all. It is Wednesday, of course it is. All these days are blending into each other because we're getting up early in the morning and all that good stuff. Anyway, how are we all feeling? It's Portugal. Roberto Martínez's Portugal against Sébastien Desabre's Leopards, Democratic Republic of Congo. Should be a really, really interesting one, this one. Sébastien Desabre was appointed in 2022 by Congo with just one job. End the 52-year wait. Get Congo to the World Cup. And he did it. Job done. So he's got them here. And now they face Seleção das Quinas, Portugal. Roberto Martínez is Portugal. And Cristiano Ronaldo. 15 goals in 14 qualifiers. But just 2 goals across his last 2 major tournaments. He doesn't tend to perform on the big stage, Cristiano Ronaldo. At least not anymore, anyway. Doesn't tend to do it when it really matters at the big tournaments anymore, Cristiano Ronaldo. We saw Messi get a hat-trick. Was that last night? I watched that game. We saw Messi get a hat-trick. Unbelievable performance from Lionel Messi. Can Ronaldo now follow suit? I think he'll be feeling that sort of pressure, won't he? He'll be thinking, they're all looking at Messi saying he did it. Can Ronaldo still do it? So that's the type of performance that will just spark, you would imagine, just spark Ronaldo into life. Where are we up to? Sorry, I'm not ignoring your chat. How are we all doing? Before we get stuck into today's live, as always, I do want to give a big shout out to our channel sponsor, Oxford Natural, and the Optimum Day and Night supplements that are sponsoring the Matchday Tavern throughout the World Cup for today's game and throughout the tournament. They're continuing to sponsor us. A big, big thank you to them. If you are looking to start your health kick for the summer, if you're trying to get that summer bod, and you're looking to make some positive changes, then Optimum Day and Night is a very, very good place to start. We've already seen the great results that people like Michael Owen, people like Robbie at AFTV, people like KG, lots of people that we all know in the football content creation space. I'm working on getting my before and after shots. I'm working on seeing if I can get myself in there. But yeah, hopefully if you're looking to start your journey, then you might consider Optimum Day and Night. Optimum Day supplement is there to help you with your cravings. If you're starting to get those cravings throughout the day, it's certainly something that I've struggled with in the past. And you know, it helps you keep your energy up so you're not feeling sluggish because you're not pecking. But you get your energy and it helps you with your cravings. And then you have Optimum Night, which helps you with your sleep, rest, recovery, making sure that your body is ready for another big day. So yeah, if you want to check out Optimum Day and Night, you can do so by scanning the QR code, which is on screen. It'll be on screen throughout the live tonight. You can also click the link in the description, and you can go and find out more about how it all works and how Oxford Natural support people on their health journey. You can get 70% off your first order as well if you use code KEY70, which I think is pretty decent, isn't it? Go and check it out. Thank you again to Oxford Natural. Big, big thank you. And with that said, let's get stuck into today's live. Really, really good to see lots of familiar faces in the chat, but also lots of familiar faces in the lineups tonight. We can see for Congo, they have Aaron Wan-Bissaka of West Ham, formerly of West Ham. I guess he's looking to move on from West Ham. Aaron Wan-Bissaka. There's Johan Wisser, of course, who's not necessarily done brilliantly at Newcastle, has he? Axel Tuanzebe's another one. Excuse me. Yeah, Axel Tuanzebe is another one that's in amongst it. Noah Siddiqui is not in the starting lineup today, believe it or not. No Noah Siddiqui. He is only good enough for a place on the bench. Maybe to do with fitness, that one. Excuse me. Thank you very much, Shell. Appreciate that. Sorry, I'm not ignoring your chat. Let me just get the chat up. We're very, very close to kick-off. Aftab says Ronaldo obviously wants a World Cup and the 1,000 goals. He'll definitely be thinking about that Lionel Messi hat-trick though, won't he? That'll have just planted a seed. It'll have planted a seed of doubt with Cristiano Ronaldo. Ollie, how come you doing Colombia at 3 AM? I don't understand the question, Ollie. How's it going, Neil? Aftab, Jellyfish, Sarah, lovely to see you. Andy, Neto hat-trick today. Watch Messi be amazing. 3 stars this evening, everyone. Hope you're well. Sorry I'm late. I've just served my 20-minute Matchday Tavern ban. I put myself on. You're not banning Shell tonight, then? And Willies. Lots and lots of familiar faces. Let's go through the lineups very quickly. Diogo Costa in goal for Portugal. Cancelo, Araujo, Vega, Gabri Vega. Is it Gabri Vega? It's Renato Vega, isn't it? Gabri Vega plays for Spain. Renato Vega is former Chelsea defender. He's at centre-back with Nuno Mendes, PSG's Nuno Mendes on the left. In midfield, it is Neves, Vitinha and Bruno Fernandes. With Silva, Neto, either side of Cristiano Ronaldo. Bernardo Silva, new Real Madrid signing, Bernardo Silva on the right-hand side. Pedro Neto of Chelsea, Bruno Fernandes just behind Ronaldo. The only concern, is there maybe a concern there that you look at, you know, Portugal's attack and they've got a combined age of 103. 3 of them have got a combined age of 100. Well, even if you include Pedro Neto, it's nearly 130. Nearly 130 for those 4. That's mad, innit? Follow the Blues says 3-0 to Portugal today. We are off and underway here now. We had a false start? No. Danny Murphy on commentary. Thank God we've got this muted. Can't be watching Danny Murphy on commentary. DC, looking forward to watching the best player in the world. Been shocking for cards this World Cup, says Lou. Do you know what? The thing is, it started off really card happy, but actually it's been quite low, hasn't it, recently? DJ, ball, sack, Alonso blowing out Liverpool for Chelsea. We didn't want him, mate. It was quite clear. We spoke to Xabi Alonso in March. Again, I don't think you're all clued up on the latest news, mate. It was all we spoke to Xabi Alonso in March. He wanted a manager's job. We don't have a manager's job. Iriola's been appointed as a coach. Liverpool weren't prepared to offer a manager's job. Chelsea, on the other hand, were prepared to offer him a manager's job. Time will tell whether or not that was the right decision for him, I guess. Jellyfish, you don't like ex-Liverpool player Danny Murphy, Key? Do I? No chance. Danny Murphy and Stephen Warnock go in kind of the same bracket, to be honest. They're both so annoying. Ball played down the right-hand side. Portugal starting off strong. What have I got for this game? I don't know if I've got Portugal or draw, over 1.5 and Portugal most corners. Okay. Yeah, Portugal most corners, Portugal over 1.5. I've also got Portugal first corner. Portugal first corner and Diogo Costa to make a save in the game. So we could do with that, really. Portugal first corner and Portugal keeper to make a save. Three-star today. Key is 8 years since my dad passed away. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, mate. God bless him. And in the World Cup that year, England played Croatia. History repeating itself, mate. I'm really sorry to hear that. I hope you're spending the day remember him in the way that you feel best and paying tribute to him. But lots of love to you and yours, mate. 8 years goes very quickly. I vividly remember my granddad and my Uncle Rob and how quickly time passes so quickly. Goes in the blink of an eye. As the expression goes, the days are long, but the years go so quickly, and they really do. They really do. Feels like yesterday since my little girl was born, and she's at school and everything now. She's nearly as tall as me. Evening, Matty. How's it going? Jellyfish, good to see you. Finners, Matty. Andy says, I'm happy with Alonso at the moment. Don't know if I will be at Christmas. I think, let's be honest, Chelsea will probably move Xabi Alonso on at some point. DZ Solid, hey, what's the biggest parlay you ever hit? I think nearly 5,000 to 1. Yeah, I tend to do stupid, like, 20-fold ACCAs and stuff like that, and I just throw it on and think, you know what, £2.50. And then at the end of the day, it comes in and I'm like, oh, why didn't I put a tenner on that? But, you know, you just do it for the laugh. But it's only happened maybe, I think I've had 2 or 3 that have come in like that. The last time was about 12 months ago, and it was nearly 12k. Which was mad. That was mad. I've had a 12k, a 9k, and I think a 6k. All from like £2 bet. Oh, and do you know what? And the other one was the worst one. The absolute worst one was, I remember, it was about 900 to 1, something like that. And my dad was going out to work, and I was doing the long list of all the stuff to put on, all the games I wanted to do. And I put them all on, and just as my dad was leaving, he threw me £2 and went, there you are, put me, whatever you put on, put me 2 on as well. I was like, oh, fair enough, whatever. He'd come out like three grand. I had to give me dad £1,500 just for throwing £2 at me as he walked out the house. Don't begrudge him, he's my old man, I love him to bits, but you know what I mean. He did alright out of me that day. He definitely did alright out of me that day. Here you go, Pops. Far post, unlucky. Good ball in. Portugal, all the early pressure here. Vitinha, out wide to the left. Good ball in. Header. There you go. It's 1-0. Fast start. Excellent goal. It is Neves with the goal. Excellent header. He's so good in the air, him, isn't he? Do you know, there's a lot of people who tend to, when you think of small, diminutive players, they're always the best ones in the air. Do you ever find that? Players who've got that low centre of gravity are always unbelievable in the air. Luis Garcia, Diogo Jota was another one, God rest his soul. Luis Garcia is probably one of the best headers of the ball I've ever seen for Liverpool. I think he was about 5'4". He's tiny. Every header though, bang, top corner, unbelievable. Jean Neves, only a short ass, but that's a great header. No chance at all for the goalkeeper. Anfield Vortex, how's it going, sir? Good to see you. What a great goal. Portugal 1 in front. Exceptional stuff. They got to the World Cup, topped the group with a 9-1 annihilation of Armenia in qualifying. They were Nations League champions in 2025, of course. Beat Germany and Spain on the way to winning the UEFA Nations League. It's also worth noting as well, by the way, interesting, I was just about to bring this up. Portugal are the crossing masters. They are basically a factory for crosses. They had the most crosses at the Euros. They averaged something like 12 crosses per game in qualifying. Everything tends to go wide and then crossed into the box for Ronaldo because he is so dominant aerially. And we've seen that within 6 minutes, right? Ball comes in. Neves with the header, Portugal score. 3-star, I'm well, everyone. Thanks. Lit a candle for him and remembered all those things we laughed about watching footy today and how much banter I gave him about his beloved Derby County. Love that. Love that, mate. Congo shouldn't be letting the shortest player get that header. There's not an awful lot you can do about it, mate. He just ghosted in. It was really nice. Good goal. Anfield Vortex, I remember Peter Beardsley rarely would score, but they'd always be amazing headers, I remember. Yeah, short arses. Good in the air. But a good cross as well. Going to be a drubbing this game, says All Boxed Up. Well, 8 minutes in, it's certainly looking that way. It's 52 years since Congo appeared at a World Cup. They actually missed automatic qualification due to Senegal and then beat Nigeria on penalties, whose coach accused Congo of practicing voodoo to get to the World Cup. It was an interesting story that actually got them to the tournament. There was kind of a scandal, but yeah, the Nigeria coach accused Congo of practicing voodoo during the shootout. And it was a scrappy Tuanzebe goal that got them here by beating Jamaica in the final playoff. Ryan says, is Portugal's midfield the best in the world? On paper, the balance is perfect. I mean, it's very good. Not sure about the best in the world. I think there's a lot of good midfields at the World Cup. I mean, England's got a great midfield on paper as well. You look at Bellingham, Elliot Anderson, Declan Rice. There's 3 players there that are all worth over 100 million quid. Portugal has top 1 and top 2 best midfield for me. Fair enough. Ben, is Jordan Henderson an underrated player, Key? He certainly was. I still think he is. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people seem to think that, like Roy Keane famously said it, didn't he? What are they taking Jordan Henderson for? To, is it because he's funny behind the scenes, or he puts the cones out or whatever? It's nonsense. I actually think Jordan Henderson's a really, really talented midfielder. Always has been. He's incredibly underrated by Liverpool players. I think there's a serious question to be had that Jordan Henderson was never as good a player as Steven Gerrard, but I think he was a better captain. Here's Johan Wisser. Strike. Oh, just wide. Oh, great effort from Wisser, that. River Jr., I think Henderson was a better captain than Gerrard. There you go, yeah, it's interesting. I can't disagree with you, mate. Hiya, Liam. Andy Foster says Argentina midfielder, the holders, Enzo, Alexis and De Paul. Not a fan of De Paul. Clips Market says Henderson won the title. He did win the title, but he also had a much, much better team around him than Gerrard did. In fairness, I think you've got to, you're not quite comparing apples with apples. If Gerrard was in the same team with the same manager as Jordan Henderson, I think we'd have won a lot more than we did. Certainly, Gerrard is a better... He's 10 times the player Jordan Henderson is, and that's not a slight on Henderson. Jordan Henderson's an incredible midfielder. He wasn't just a great captain, an incredible midfielder. Have a look at the goal that Mo Salah scored at Old Trafford when we beat him 5-0. That pass from Jordan Henderson is one of the greatest assists I've ever seen in the Premier League. Any top that was like Kaká in the Champions League final. Unbelievable. Rather not watch that back, I'll be honest. That's fair enough, mate. I'll let you off then. But it was absolutely fabulous ball. Cut United apart. Pinpoint. Salah runs through. But yeah, Henderson was more than just a very good leader. And I think he's even in England's sort of friendly games. That's not a free kick, is it? It is. He's given a yellow card. Oh, yellow card for Bernardo Silva. Cristiano Ronaldo saying first one. He's not happy with him. He's not happy with him. The culture says Henderson learned from Gerrard the best he could, but still nowhere near the level. No, he was never the same player. He's not going to be anywhere near the player. Andy says when Gerrard was playing, United, Arsenal and Chelsea had better teams. Yeah, they all had better teams, and Liverpool's... We didn't have a great team. We had a very functional team under Rafa Benitez. That was the best team Gerrard played in. And then if you look at the one he played in with Brendan Rodgers, we had an unbelievable attack. Suarez, Sterling, Daniel Sturridge was unbelievable. We had a great attack. But, you know, if we didn't have Gerrard pulling the strings, it was Joe Allen in midfield. It was Lucas Leiva, Joe Allen. Oh, what a run this is. Wisser, got to hit it. Deflection, it's going to be a corner. Oh, tell me that's not the first corner. Oh, tell me that's not the first corner. Please tell me that's not the first corner. Oh, it is as well. Fucking hell. Portugal killing me. Oh, you absolute joker. I've got most corners. Oh, absolute dog meat. Moody. Stephen G. Hi, Key. How you been? Out of all the games you've seen, what game do you think's the best? So far, I would say Ecuador. Ecuador Ivory Coast has been the game I've enjoyed the most. I think Argentina was quite an interesting one, though. Argentina, Algeria. That was good fun last night. Good ball in from Congo. Portugal. Clear it away. It's a great run, this. And a great tackle. Well done. Congo are not here to just fulfill the fixture. They're driving forward. They've done all right here. Everyone thought it'd be an absolute whitewash. Good ball in. Flicked on. Wisser. Portugal clear it away. Swifty, I don't personally see the benefit of taking a 36-year-old midfielder that is well past his best. You need legs to come on in this heat. I mean, I take the points. That's fair. But I think about the players that he has chosen. Sorry, let's think about Henderson, the player he's chosen, over the players that he's left behind. I don't think Lewis Skelly is a better option in midfield than Jordan Henderson. I think Jordan Henderson's a very, very good, experienced midfielder. And to be fair, you know, we talk about a 36-year-old midfielder that's past his best. A lot of the midfields don't have a huge amount of legs in this tournament. You're talking about transitions. It feels like energy at the top end of the pitch is far more important. If you look at the midfields, a lot of the midfields are quite slow and pedestrian. Look at Brazil's. We've got Fabinho and Casemiro. Ancelotti's not prioritising legs in midfield. You know, Spain, Rodri's not fast. They're not necessarily... I don't think pace and energy and legs in midfield will win the day. It'll be about how you press. Feels like that's how a lot of teams are playing at this World Cup is transitional play and counter-pressing. Just seeing the Brest head coach has passed away. Has he really? The Brest head coach has passed away. Is that like a sudden thing? I mean, I can only assume so. Eric Roy. Portugal down the left-hand side. Hang on a minute, that can't be right. Ball whipped in far post, Portugal. Ronaldo goes down, over to the left-hand side. Neto. Congo just about clear it away. Stade Brest head coach Eric Roy sadly passed away at 58. He has as well. Oh, that's really sad. Oh, poor fella. 17th of June, 2026. And you know what? It's mad that, because he's done really, really well at Brest. He's kind of considered a fantastic... Oh, what a ball that is. Mendes. Could be nearly two. Good defending. Goalkeeper clears it away. Bruno Fernandes follows up. Oh, unlucky, just wide. Yeah, Eric Roy. Eric Roy, 58, no age. Very sad. He got Brest in the Champions League. Stade Brestois in the Champions League. Unbelievable. Pete, leave the corners alone, Key. That seems to let you down every time. Do you know what it is, mate? It's just so good. The actual odds you get on it are really, really high. I mean, maybe that's why. But I always think to myself, if a team starts really quickly and they pen the opposition in, they're far more likely to get corners. And that's what we've seen. Portugal dominating Congo. But then Congo go up the other end and get the first corner of the game. So it's killed it. It's wiped it out. It's annoying. On a more positive note, as an England fan, I'd like it on record that I love Arsenal's set pieces. Ben, how far do you think Portugal can go in this World Cup, Key? Oh, that's got to be an immediate 20-minute suspension, that one for Ben. I'm only kidding, mate. Bloody hell. How far do you think Portugal can go? Good grief. Thought Swiss family 58, wow. There's no indication as to what's happened, how it's happened. Yeah, as far as I can tell, there's no indication. Oh, there you go. He'd been battling pancreatic cancer for 3.5 years. And kept working as well. He was still managing Brest last year. Still managing. He's gone all the way through to the end of the season. And wow, pancreatic cancer. CSPR, who's that? It's Eric Roy, the 58-year-old manager of Stade Brestois, Stade Brest in France, has sadly passed away. Very sad. No age, 58. Shocking. What's Swifty saying? Lewis Skelly played in the Champions League final as our fourth midfielder and a backup left back. That makes more sense than Henderson and Chalobah to me, freeing up a space. I mean, listen, I just think Lewis Skelly's very, very naive. I think he's a talented player, but I think, for me anyway, and evidently Thomas Tuchel to some extent, experience is a really important factor. He obviously likes versatility, and, you know, of course, Lewis Skelly, I'm sure, would have been a player he thought about. But he chose Chalobah over Maguire, and maybe that's versatility speaking, because Maguire's experience, I think, would have been important. Maybe the fact that Maguire came out after he announced he was getting dropped. Maguire's family members put stuff on social media as well. So it's never smart, that is it. It's never smart to burn bridges. Harry Maguire, he ends up insulting Thomas Tuchel inadvertently. And that might have cost him his spot at the World Cup. Stephen Evening just got up, watched Austria win this morning. Do you know what? I haven't even seen the Austria goals against Jordan. Arnautovic scored a penalty, I know that. But yeah, Portugal, Congo now, England, Croatia later. I'm going to miss Ghana and Panama, but I am going to be back tonight for, well, I say tonight, it's early hours of the morning for Uzbekistan versus Colombia. It's a 3 a.m. kickoff here in the UK. I'll be live for that one as well. So if you want to join me for that, I'd love it. Bruno assist, says Chimey. No, it wasn't a Bruno assist. It was a Pedro Neto assist. Neto assist, Neves header. How was the dad's race at the sports day, Key? There was no dad's race. Yeah, there was no dad's race. It was actually quite a bit dramatic, really. It ended up being an ambulance called. One of the parents keeled over on the touchline. So, I hope they're okay. I don't know what happened. Everyone kind of rushed over. We was all watching the sports day, and then all of a sudden there was like a load of people behind us just swarming around this one person, and some poor fella had keeled over. I don't know if it was the heat or I don't know, but there was an ambulance called, and for that reason it was kind of, the sports day was curtailed, I think, once the kids' stuff was done fairly quickly. Portugal are just controlling this game. They're dominating it. They've got Congo exactly where they want them. I'm expecting Portugal to score more. They're certainly having all the possession, and they are creating chance. That's a wonderful pass. Unlucky. That was better. And they're winning it back really quickly as well. I think that's the big problem for Congo, is as soon as they actually get the ball, they're not able to keep hold of it. Portugal are just swarming them very, very quickly. Here we go. First hydration break. This might just disrupt things a little bit. Swifty, Wharton and Scott both unlucky after good seasons too. That's fair. That is entirely fair. But again, I think if you take Wharton, I think it was Wharton or Mainu. I think he's looking at types of midfielders to take. And for me, I think it's Alex Scott or Elliot Anderson. I think it's Mainu or Wharton. You don't want two of basically the same midfielder. In my opinion, anyway. I think he's got 4 very different types of midfielders that can play in that double pivot. But I agree. Scott and Wharton both had good seasons. I think he chose Mainu over Wharton. I'm not sure how smart that was. He chose Elliot Anderson over Alex Scott, which I think is probably fair enough. Alex Scott, very good, but Elliot Anderson's had a much better couple of seasons. The Old Way says, hydration break question. Which 3 players have scored a hat-trick in the Premier League for 3 different clubs? Bloody hell. Nicholas Anelka, my guess would be. I'm trying to think of players who've played for 3 different clubs, like, for a long time. Don't think Michael Owen ever did for Man United. Nicholas Anelka would be the standout one, surely. Dogs of Shaw, good to see you, mate. Thank you. I obviously hope we play well, but leaving better players out like Palmer and even Maguire and Trent, who definitely should be in this team, in my opinion, is questionable. I think that's a fair shout. I mean, I think Cole Palmer was an easy one because he's injured, he needs surgery. So I think that was maybe an easier decision for them to make with Cole Palmer. He had to go and have surgery. Maguire, I think Maguire probably would be here. Maguire would have already been picked if he had just kept his mouth shut. I think he gets left out of the original squad, and then, you know, his family go on social media. He ends up, I don't know. I just think he maybe he did a big interview, didn't he, saying how hard done he was by the fact he wasn't picked, and then all of a sudden Livramento gets injured. There's another opportunity for someone to come in. Maguire is, you know, he's told no, it's Chalobah. So maybe that played a small part in Tuchel's decision making. Not Kevin Phillips. That would have been a good shout, Andy, I think. So go on, hang on. Let's do the question again. I just want to put that up on screen. Let's get that up on screen from the Old Ways. It's a great question, this. Wow, we've got our first hydration break. Which 3 Premier Leagues have scored a hat-trick in the Premier League for 3 different clubs? Nicholas Anelka is 1. Fowler for Liverpool, Leeds and City. I don't think he scored a hat-trick for Leeds. Definitely did for City and Liverpool. Hasselbank is a good shout. Leeds, Chelsea, Borough, possibly. Not Chris Wood, not Carroll. Heskey. Again, not really one who got a lot of hat-tricks. Heskey. What about Jermaine Defoe? Jermaine Defoe might be a decent one. Spurs, maybe even West Ham, Portsmouth, Sunderland. Jermaine Defoe could be a good shout. Sheringham, I think, would be a great one. Les Ferdinand, probably, almost certainly. Andy Cole is. I know for a fact Andy Cole is. Newcastle, Man United, Blackburn, Fulham. He's bounced around a little bit, hasn't he, Andy Cole? I think Andy Cole is certainly one. Sheringham, maybe Defoe. Crouch. Hey, Crouch is not a bad shout, Tommy. Berbatov. He certainly has for United. I think he probably did for Fulham as well, but did he do it for Spurs? Berbatov's not a bad shout. Benteke too, yeah. All good shouts. I like the shouts. Collymore, no. Defoe, no. Benteke, no. Not Beckham. Not Andy Cole. Not Crouch. Wow, these are good questions then. I don't know. Ball over the top. Portugal are in here. If they get the ball right. Ronaldo, good defending. It's a corner. Ryan, have you said Anelka? Yes, we've said Anelka. Anelka is one of them, but we haven't got the other two yet. We're talking... the hydration break's over, but the question's still lingering. 3 players. Which 3 players have scored a hat-trick in the Premier League for 3 different clubs? Nicholas Anelka is one. And we're waiting on the other 2. Craig Bellamy. Bellamy's a great shout. Yeah, West Ham, Blackburn, Liverpool, Newcastle, Manchester City. Be surprised if Bellamy's not there. And it isn't Bellamy. It isn't Craig Bellamy. Andy Johnson, no. Danny Welbeck. Man United, Arsenal, Brighton, possibly. Darren Bent. Yeah, Darren Bent's probably not a terrible shout. Thinking of players who've played for lots and lots of different clubs. I mean, Lampard only played for, I think really West Ham. He wouldn't have scored a hat-trick, but he definitely scored Chelsea and maybe... No, he wouldn't have got one for City either. Callum Wilson, Robbie Keane. Not Danny Welbeck, not Nolan. Andy Burnham. James Milner. No, he's never got a hat-trick for Liverpool. Kevin Campbell's not a terrible shout. Cristiano Ronaldo playing his 6th World Cup. There's Pepe in the stands. Anfield Vortex. During the hydration breaks, the American advertisers are selling McDonald's chicken nuggets, I heard. Adebayor. I think Adebayor's a no. Sturridge is no. Callum Wilson, no. Sterling. Sterling, has he got a hat-trick for 3 clubs? Played for Arsenal, played for Chelsea briefly. Liverpool, Man City, I think he probably would have done, but... Les Ferdinand, I said, James. It's not Les Ferdinand. No, Berbatov's no as well. Robbie Keane. Trying to think of real, like, journeymen. Not Sterling. Lukaku, says Dogs of Shaw. That's not a bad shout. Yeah. Everton, Chelsea, Man United, West Brom. Certainly got one for West Brom. Certainly got one for Everton. Did he get one for Chelsea or United, Lukaku? It's probably not a terrible shout, that. Lukaku's a good shout. I like that. Nicholas Anelka we've already got. The Yak has been asked. I think Yakubu was a no. David Nugent. Oh, Grice, we're stretching now. We really are reaching. It's not Sheringham. No. Dwight York. Dwight York only played for 3 clubs, didn't he, in the Prem? Villa, Man United, Sunderland. Super Venky just joined in. What's the question? Question's down here, mate. You can see it just beneath you. That's all 3. Well done, guys. Which one? Oh, sorry. Les Ferdinand, yes. So Les Ferdinand is a yes. Who's the 3rd? Who's the 3rd? Oh, and Kevin Campbell. Oh, okay. There you go. That's it. Kevin Campbell, Les Ferdinand, Nicholas Anelka. They are the 3. I wasn't aware Les Ferdinand had been a yes. Good stuff. Like that. Good question. Very good question. Ferdinand, Campbell and Anelka. Excellent. Good question. And we've just had a question come in from Ben as well, saying if you had to put 4 ex-England players with Pickford, James, Gueye, Rice, Bellingham, Saka and Kane to guarantee us the World Cup, who would it be? Congo have just got a yellow card. Chancel and Bemba. No idea how he's still playing, to be honest. I remember him signing for Newcastle about 20 years ago. 4 ex-England players to put with Pickford, James, Gueye. Well, if you've only got 2 defenders there, you're looking for a centre-back and a left-back. I think you couldn't really go far wrong with John Terry and Ashley Cole. So I'd go John Terry and Ashley Cole. Midfield, Rice, Bellingham. I'd have to put Gerrard in there. And then an attacker to put with Saka and Kane. I'd probably find a way to... I don't know, maybe find a way to put Rooney in there. I think that's the standout attacker. Gerrard, Rooney, Terry and Cole would be the 4. And I think if you put them 4 in, you'd probably win the World Cup. Jelly says never a book in that. Bit harsh from the referee. Sarah, I wouldn't even put Saka. No, nor would I. Nor would I. I was being generous. Democratic Republic of Congo. Good effort. Took a deflection. That's going to be a shot on target at least. We've got that one. Yes, Joe. How's it going, lad? Wagwan. So far, who's been the best overall team you've watched at this World Cup, says Gunwoo. Best overall team. I think if it was just based off a second half performance alone, I'd say France yesterday against Senegal. Germany were terrific, but I think you've got to take into account the team they were playing against. I wasn't bowled over by Spain, obviously, against Cape Verde. They are my shouts for the tournament. I wasn't really bowled over by the Dutch either, and the Dutch were my dark horses for the tournament. So far, honestly, I've not been mega impressed by anyone other than the US. And I thought the US were terrific. Again, against Paraguay, you've got to maybe take that into account. But Paraguay have always been a really solid defensive side. They don't tend to concede many. So to concede 4 and some really good goals as well, credit where it's due. I think Potter's created a very decent team there with the US, and they might surprise a few. Sarov says Morocco looked class. Yeah, I mean, Morocco, they looked class, but I think Brazil looked really poor, didn't they? Brazil were really average. Dogs of Shaw says Saka is quality, but he's a modern footballer who likes his midfielders more than the box. Very true. Andy says USA as well. Jelly's gone Argentina. Cape Verde, says Julius. Very true. Cape Verde were impressive. Australia, says Andy. Do you know what? Australia, I'll give them credit. I did not think for 1 second they would be able to beat Turkey. And that's a real solid defensive performance. Couple of very good goals as well. Excellent couple of goals. South Korea needs a shout. Do you know what? I didn't actually think South Korea were that good against the Czechs. I think the Czechs are a much better side than they showed. We're going to be watching Czech Republic against South Africa tomorrow. We're also going to be watching South Korea against Mexico. It's a 2 a.m. kickoff, that, in the early hours of Saturday morning. I don't know. Aftab says, Key, what's your Dream 11 Liverpool lineup? Alisson, Trent, Van Dijk, Hippier, Robertson, Gerrard, Thiago, Coutinho. No, Gerrard, Thiago, Henderson. Gerrard, Thiago, Henderson, Coutinho, Suarez, Fowler. There you go. Suarez, Fowler. I'm going to go 4-4-2 of some fashion. Gerrard had a great season playing off the right, so I'll put Gerrard in there and he can interchange with Coutinho. And yeah, that would be my dream Liverpool 11. Stephen, who do you think will win the World Cup? I mean, I'm still going to stick with Spain. I think Argentina, France will all give them really good goals. I still think Brazil are a good side. They'll give plenty of people some trouble, but I still can't look past Spain. Yeah, it's just you can't count that, mate. That was a very clear 4-4-2 there. Zombie biting Suarez. That's it. Winner. Andy says Suarez over Russian Dalglish. I wasn't around for Russian Dalglish, mate. I caught the tail end of Ian Rush's career. Dalglish was before my time. So, feels... And I kind of also only caught the tail end of John Barnes as well. John Barnes and Ian Rush, I think, are probably a first shout. But if we're just talking my lifetime, yeah, that would be mine. 08 Torres. No, 08 Torres is not... I think there's 5 better centre forwards than 08 Torres. Daniel Sturridge was better than 08 Torres. Give me Daniel Sturridge in 13-14, he's better than Torres. Give me Bobby Firmino over Torres, to be honest. Oh, what a ball that is. Great run. Mendes is in. Pull back. Must be. Oh, how's he got away with that one? Bernardo Silva. Congo just scramble it away. No Dalglish or Hansen. Listen, I think it's, yeah, you have to go with your lineup in your lifetime. I think it's not really fair to include players who've played before you, because otherwise, you know, you'd be including Roger Hunt and Ian St John and Ray Clements and not just Hansen, but you'd have to go back and you'd be looking at Emlyn Hughes, you'd be looking at Ron Yates, you'd be looking at Chris Lawler, you'd be looking at Phil Neal. So many good players. Graham Souness was an unbelievable midfielder. Many people would say Graham Souness was every bit as good as Steven Gerrard. Lots of Liverpool fans would argue that point. So, but I can only talk about the players realistically who I watched week in, week out in my lifetime. It feels like a little bit of a stretch. If you see United fans who are 15 and they're talking about the best ever United side and they put Best and Charlton in there, you've got to have a laugh at them. Best, Charlton and Dennis Law. Best strikers they've seen play for their club of bloody Xerxes in Ireland. Dogs of Shaw, Suarez, biter, racist, winner. That's true, winner. Tell you, as soon as you start getting into the realms of treating footballers based on whether or not they're good people, it's a big problem. I'm sure United fans had put Wayne Rooney in there. Plenty of footballers who are shithouses of people. I bet Giggs makes it into all the United fans' all-time 11. Not a nice fella. Swifty, Torres was absolutely frightening when he first arrived, unplayable at times. I think Gerrard putting it on a plate for him was a big factor in that. Pepe, do you think Areola succeeds? Depends if we give him what Arne Slot never got. I think if Arne Slot would have got what Areola wants, then yeah, he probably will. If we don't give him that, then no, I think he fails. The old ways, if you had to replace one of your all-time Liverpool 11 with another Premier League player of your generation, who would it be? Ooh. Well, if we're just talking about favourites, I'd have to put Gareth Bale in there. I think for a spell, just before he went to Real Madrid and just after, Gareth Bale was unplayable. I'd love to have seen Gareth Bale at Liverpool. Exactly the type of player I like. If Messi wins the World Cup, will the Ronaldo debate be over? Well, I mean, that was said before he won the last World Cup, wasn't it, Frankie? Andy says, Cech, Ivanovic, Terry, Silva, Cole, Lampard, Kante, Makelele, Zola, Hazard, Drogba would be my all-time Chelsea 11. Anything you would change? 5 minutes to half-time. Cancelo just got penalised there. Anything I would change from that one? Yes, personally, I would say Carvalho was better than Thiago Silva. I'd have Terry and Carvalho in there. Lampard, Kante, Makelele. Personally, I would have put Essien in over Kante. I think it's Kante or Makelele. I don't think you'd have Kante and Makelele. Essien was incredible for Chelsea. Oh, he was incredible. And then, yeah, Zola, Hazard, Drogba. Personally, I'd probably be inclined to put... I'd probably have put Robin in there. I think Robin would go in there for me. Zola, I'd probably have Robin over Hazard. I think Zola, Robin, Drogba would be my front three if it was a Chelsea one. Pepe, have you watched every game so far? I've watched every game. I've not streamed every game, but I've watched every game, yeah. Dogs of Shaw says Suarez was up there with the best for a few years, Key, but the best knobheads are nice guys at heart like Keane and Cantona. See, I like Roy Keane. I really do like Roy Keane. I'm not sure about Eric Cantona. I mean, to be fair, I quite like the fact that he kicked that fella in the face because he was being a prick to him as well, wasn't he? But I don't know. I think there's a lot of players yet who are misunderstood. So you're probably right with Keane and Cantona. I don't know. we're talking about another player who could maybe have made that lineup as well for Liverpool, I would have said maybe Dennis Irwin as well. I've talked a lot about Dennis Irwin being a player I like a lot. Dennis Irwin's my... After Andy Robertson, Ashley Cole, Dennis Irwin, that's my top three. That's my top three left-backs of all time. I don't think you can pick too much between them. Definitely Robin over Hazard, says Sarah. Swifty says, nobody really saw it coming with Bale or Kane either. Bale was struggling left-back and Kane had many mediocre loans. He did. Harry Kane's another one I'd probably include. Harry Kane, for me, is better than Shearer. Terry Henry I would have instead of Owen for Man United. Portugal won't win the World Cup, I guarantee that, says Blastoise. Love that username. River Jr. says, you think Robertson will have enough left in him to do a job for Spurs? Yeah, I'd say so. I think, listen, Andy Robertson's still a wonderful left-back. Ben, is John Barnes the greatest ever English winger? He's up there. I think he's up there. There's not many better. Who's a better finisher, Kane or Lewandowski? Kane. Yeah, Kane. Kane's incredible. Kane's absolutely different class. Top quality. All round. Unbelievable player. Key, what's your most unpopular opinion at this World Cup? My most unpopular opinion? God, I don't know. My most unpopular opinion. Someone help me out in the chat. What are we thinking? Most unpopular opinion. Not just mine. Tell me yours as well. You don't have to dig me out. What's your most unpopular opinion at this World Cup? I'm guessing that's like your most hot take. Your most controversial take. Go on. What's your most controversial, edgy hot take at this World Cup? Mine is maybe that France don't go as far as people think they will. Even after yesterday, France were brilliant second half, but I also looked at them and thought, Senegal at the post, they should have had a second. They worried. The keeper's very suspect, isn't he, Mike Maignan? They conceded a couple of big chances in the first half to Senegal as well. If Senegal had a better finisher up there, other than Nicholas Jackson, I think there's a real chance that they maybe go in at half-time ahead. So, I think controversial, edgy take. Not trying to be controversial, but I said it before the tournament as well. Something about this France side just doesn't stack up. Absolutely just smashed with quality, but I just don't see the full package with them. The old way says my dream Arsenal side was Seaman, Lauren, Adams, Campbell, Cole, Rice, Saka, Vieira, Pires, Bergkamp, Henry. Ooh, interesting. Saka being in there is an interesting shout. I do like Bukayo Saka, but I'm not sure if I'd pick him ahead of Freddie Ljungberg. Honestly, I like Saka a lot, but I think Freddie Ljungberg was very underrated for Arsenal. I actually thought Mark Overmars at his peak was unbelievable. Blastoise says Spurs have just signed Jan-Paul van Hecke. Have you seen the tweet as well? Not the tweet, the text. Daniel Levy sent a text to Simon Jordan, and Simon Jordan has showed the text on her saying Brighton have absolutely pulled Spurs' pants down. I think it's 52 million they've paid for Jan-Paul van Hecke. And he's a good defender, but I'm not sure if he's 52 million pounds worth. But him alongside Van der Ven, if Romero does end up going, which is what seems to be the case. Ultan says get Bernardo off. Gareth Bale was apparently about to join Liverpool after he left Tottenham, but opted for Madrid. Oh, that would have been brilliant. Neil Jagger, Key, just helped pack my son's D&V kit. I finally get a weekend free, but he misses Father's Day. Oh, hey. D&V. Remember that. Remember them trips. Fantastic times. Andy says I would have put Ljungberg or Walcott over Saka. Walcott was good, but I always worried about Ljungberg. Overmars was very good, but I think Ljungberg was the one for me. Alexander Kleb as well. I mean, again, if we're talking about a very short peak, but Alexander Kleb at his absolute peak was brilliant for Arsenal. Strike from Congo. Oh, takes a deflection. It's going to be a corner. Unlucky. Yeah, 52 million's a lot. I had Freddie to start with, but I got to stick with the wee man Saka. Fair enough. Swifty Desabre really wants him. You have to back the manager. Pires over Saka. He's already got Pires in there, though. He did pick Pires already, Swifty. He had Pires, Rice, Vieira. See, Gilberto Silva, as much as I like Declan Rice, I think he's a good player. I think Gilberto Silva was so underrated. I'd find it very difficult, really, to squeeze any of the current Arsenal crop into that Arsenal Invincibles side. There's none of them that really, like, they'll look at and think, Declan Rice is brilliant. You know, the two centre-backs, brilliant, but to some extent they're kind of features of the system. I'm not sure I would pick Saliba or Gabriel over either Sol Campbell or Tony Adams. And I'm not sure I'd pick Declan Rice over either, certainly not over Vieira, but honestly, I think Gilberto Silva was incredible. Won a World Cup as well, 2002 with Brazil. Astonishing player. But again, unfortunately, one of the many Brazilian players who have very short peaks tend to be very good for 3 or 4 years and then just don't really do an awful lot after that. Overmars very good for a while too. Yeah. Have you seen the podcast that Gary Lewin did on Overmars? Where he did a medical and they found just before they sold him to Barcelona, they found that he had like a real serious problem with his knee. But it was one that wouldn't ordinarily be picked up on a medical. I think they had to do like some severely deep tests or whatever to. Anyway, it didn't get picked up by Barcelona, and they signed the deal off. He didn't say which player it was, but they sold him to Barcelona, and immediately he had knee trouble. As soon as he went to Barca, although he was fine when he played for Barcelona at Anfield. Is it in? Is he going to stand? It is. It's 1-1. Bang on half time. It's Johan Wissa. There you go. Portugal 1, Congo 1. The game's been dead since Portugal scored. But there you go. The Congolese have levelled it up. Portugal 1, Congo 1. What a header. Crossing from the left-hand side. Takes a big deflection. Loops up in the air. Looks like all the Portuguese defenders are statues. And then bang, Johan Wissa. We talked about diminutive players. Short asses. Able to get up and smash it in. Good header. Really good header. Gets all the power on it. Absolutely wonderful goal. Just on half-time. Portugal might question why the referees played an extra 60 seconds longer. And that's kind of what they're asking him. Look at it. João Neves is pointing at the scoreboard and saying, what are we doing? Ronaldo's going like this. Time. He's learned from the best. Sir Alex Ferguson. The ball gets whipped in. There's absolutely no offside. And Johan Wissa, he's in acres of space on the 6-yard line. And he just gets all the power on it. It's a great effort. Diogo Costa, no chance. What a goal. 1-1. We're level pegging right on half-time. Go on, the Congo. Cheers, Pidge. Appreciate that, man. Ignite goalkeeping for the first time ever. I actually agree with you. Catalina Petrus is 5-0. Hey, that's already ruled out. It can't be 5-0 now. Cracking header. Well done, sir. Sir, what did you say? Wissa hasn't done anything at Newcastle. Well, he hasn't, has he? I jinxed him. I sprung him into life. He must have heard me. Pete Greenall says Adams and Campbell were warriors. Gabriel and Saliba are shit by comparison. Well, I probably wouldn't go that far, but I don't think. I wouldn't say they're better. I find it very difficult. I think you look at the Arsenal team at the minute; they're an incredible bunch, but player for player, they're not getting in that Arsenal invincible side, are they? I'd find it really difficult to drop Henry or Bergkamp or Pires for any of that Arsenal front three, and I definitely wouldn't drop any of that back line. Do you know what? You've maybe got a question for Timber or Lauren. That's probably the only one. Quinton Timber. Quinton Timber's his brother. Jurien Timber, if he's fit, I think is better than Lauren. That's probably the only one. Probably the only one I would say. Declan Rice, I don't think I would pick over either Vieira or Gilberto Silva. And that's that. But hey, there you go. To each their own. Evening, Rye. How's it going, sir? I'm good, mate. Thank you. Aftab, what's the halftime quiz key? I haven't got one. Again, I was hoping Welsh should be in, but I haven't got one today. I was up late, and then went to my daughter's sport today this morning. So I've been running on empty. I've not done a quiz. Swifty, not yet perhaps, but the Arsenal centre-backs have a chance if they keep to these standards. Yeah, I mean, listen, I imagine if they win a couple more titles and maybe a Champions League, then all of a sudden it changes perceptions, doesn't it? So maybe in time they could be. Larry Olaki, hi Key, Congo for the win. Good to see you, Larry. Yeah, looks like Congo can really do a number on Portugal here. They've not sat off since they went behind. And to be honest, quite a lot of people said this one could be a rout. As soon as Portugal scored, Neto with the cross in, great header from Neves, really good goal. But we've seen two good headers in this game. Cristiano Ronaldo is wearing a special legacy badge on his captain's armband today. What does that mean? Oh, FIFA Legacy Badge. Is that because he's been in the World Cup like 6 So annoying. And it's also been announced that Mexican legendary goalkeeper Guillermo Ochoa will retire from professional football after this World Cup. So he might get a late sort of flurry. Maybe he'll get a late appearance. Maybe we'll see Ochoa at some point. Where's Welsh? He's been working night shifts, the fella, to be fair to him. He's been working night shifts, so he's not been able to make a lot of the games recently. Ben, top 20 England players World Cup appearances. Oh, have you got a quiz? Rice or Gerrard, mate? Who are you picking? I mean, that's just a silly question, isn't it? That's just a silly question. Declan Rice ain't winning games on his own. I don't think there's not a serious Arsenal fan that would put Declan Rice over Steven Gerrard, and the conversation isn't even worth having. You might as well be asking Victor Gyökeres or R9. It's genuinely that sort of a gulf. He's not even in the same bracket as Gerrard. Ben, that's a quiz, mate. Have you got the answers, I guess is my question. Larry says Ronaldo will never break Messi's records. Top 20 England World Cup appearances. Okay. Different players too. That's true. I mean, I think, yeah, Gerrard had to do everything that Rice did, but also had to do everything that Odegaard does to some extent, and kind of carry teams forward as well as carry us defensively. He's in much, much better teams. He has more aura. How do you measure that? Jellyfish, Ollie was building a great team and Woodward wanted sales and got Ronaldo on 500,000 and ruined the flow and teamwork. Oh, a week Ronaldo. 500 grand a week. The legacy patches will eventually end up in Topps trading cards in some sort of deal. I mean, just again, it's ego, isn't it, with Ronaldo? He needs his ego massaging. That's just how he is as a player. It feels like he's constantly looking for that validation. And I think that will have got to his head today, that Messi scored a hat-trick last night. It'd definitely be in his head. 100%. Shrek just said on the BBC that Ronaldo is occupying the two centre-backs. With what? I mean, I would agree with that. He is staying in the centre of the pitch, and that is where you want him. Ronaldo previously would have been drifting to the right and drifting to the left and drifting deeper, and he would have been picking the ball up in dangerous positions. That's not what he is anymore. He's 41. 41, Ronaldo. He's 3 years older than Messi, in fairness to him. Like, he hasn't got the ability to chase the ball all over the pitch anymore. As fit as he is, he's going to have to stay in the middle, keep the centre-backs there and hope that the balls in are better than they have been. But the goal that Wissa scored just shows that Congo can hurt Portugal if they get forward. It's actually a good ball in. I thought it was a deflected cross. It wasn't. Didn't take a deflection at all. It was a lovely, lovely cross in. Inside of the, in-swinger from the left foot as well. And Wissa, who's marking him? Who's marking him? Oh, it's Bruno Fernandes. Would you believe? Who is it who stood nearest to him? Who is it who's throwing his arms up? It's only Bruno Fernandes, leader, player of the year. Would you believe? Can't believe that. I can't believe Bruno Fernandes switches off for a goal defensively. Who would have said Bruno Fernandes is a liability? Casper, I've noticed so far that the African teams are very good at passing through the midfield. They're absolutely brilliant, aren't they? Some fantastic African players. Chris says, Key, what do you think about the hydration breaks? Necessary? I mean, listen, we're still only in late June, mid-June. It gets an awful lot hotter in the US. I think once you get into July, these hydration breaks will be necessary. Really, really necessary. Adam Timmins says 41 shouldn't be on the pitch. Hundreds of young Portuguese lads not getting an opportunity because of a name. He's still very good though, isn't he? And then, honestly, unless, other than maybe Goncalo Ramos, yeah, I don't know. I think you'd still pick him, wouldn't you? Jack, there were 3 players unmarked. How is that Bruno's fault? Who was the closest Portugal player to him, Jack? Might I be... I could be on a limb here, Jack. I could be getting this wrong, mate. But are you a United fan by any chance? I appreciate it might be a big guess, this. I might be getting it all wrong. He got goals because of Bruno, but we had good players, but he ruined the style. We had to adapt to him. We should have got Haaland from Molde. Fernandes moaning you couldn't write it. That's it. That's it. Let's blame the attacking midfielder for not marking 3 players taller than him. Oh, I forgot. If you've got players who are taller than you just don't mark them. I think that's what you're supposed to do, yeah. Apparently, if you're the closest player to the ball, then what you should really do is try and win the ball, generally speaking. So, yeah, I think Bruno Fernandes would be at fault for that one. For me, the water breaks ruin the momentum, says Frankie. I mean, that's a fair point. That's a very fair point, but I think they're necessary, aren't they? You've got to have them. I think if you don't have the water breaks, then you're putting players at risk. Conveniently ignored the part where I said 3 players. Don't mark the 2 who aren't going anywhere near the ball. The ball's going to Johan Wissa. Why are you stood with a guy who's nowhere near the ball? Go and attack the ball. Nice shell. Yeah, I think that's unforgivable. If the ball's in the air, go and attack it. Too many players standing around and throwing their arms in the air, and unfortunately, Bruno Fernandes, one of them, unsurprisingly. Swifty Congo fans celebrating in the Portugal fan park is hilarious. Love it. Go ahead, the Congolese. But yeah, we've got 3 games tonight. So Portugal, Congo now. After Portugal, Congo, we're going to be doing England, Croatia, obviously. I think England win that one, Chris. I'm going to go for England to win 2-1. 2-1 I'll go for. 2-1 to England. And then after that, I've got a little bit of a break. I'm not going to do Ghana, Panama, but I am going to be back for Uzbekistan, Colombia, which is a 3 a.m. kickoff. Neil Jagger, as a United fan, it is Bruno's fault. No way around it. And Shahid says, Key, who do you want to win tonight, England or Croatia? England. Yeah, England. Ben says, did they have hydration breaks at the 94 World Cup? Yes, I think they did. I'm pretty sure they did. I mean, again, it's 30-odd years ago, so to some degree, player welfare was less important. Messi should have been sent off. That, you know what, it was a bad tackle, wasn't it, Josh? I agree. He should have been sent off. Pete, the only man that Bruno marks on a football pitch is the referee. Some top refs and Van Dijk have said the hydration breaks are not necessary in all matches. Again, yeah, that's probably fair. But I think is it maybe a degree of, is it one of them where it's like equality rather? So like if you're going to afford players a hydration break in Mexico, right, in the Azteca, where it's boiling hot and it's really humid and the players are exhausted, and it's, you know, I can understand why if you give a player hydration break in that game, then if you're playing in Toronto or Vancouver or, you know, somewhere up in Canada where it's not really that hot, you'd probably have a whinge if you didn't get a hydration break, because everyone else is getting a hydration break. You're almost getting penalised, because yes, the hydration breaks are being used as a tactical thing as well, aren't they? They're being used for the managers to have a chat to the players. So yeah, we have effectively got 4 quarters. And I think FIFA have looked at it and gone, if we give it to these guys playing in the South, then we have to give it to the guys in Canada as well. We have to give it to the guys playing in the US. Even if it's not that hot, we have to give it to them. Larry Olaki says the games are really disadvantaging African fans because the games are played late in the night. I mean, listen, it's not brilliant for us in Europe either. I mean, I'm getting up at 3 a.m. to watch, well, 2:45 it'll be live for Uzbekistan, Colombia. So yeah, it's not brilliant for us anywhere. You know, there's a lot of people who it's great for. There's a fella, one of my mates is in Australia. He's doing all right. He's fine with it because they're all pretty decent times for the Australians. Hiller says the hydration break is all about TV commercials. I think it's certainly more to do with that, I would agree, than it is player welfare. Yeah. Mr. Al-Shamari says Colombia versus Uzbekistan is very interesting. I reckon it'll be a good game. Should be interesting, yeah. Be intriguing to see how Uzbekistan approach that one. The White Wolves, managed by Fabio Cannavaro, by the way. Fabio Cannavaro, manager of Uzbekistan. There's not many, like, top former players managing at this World Cup, is there? Fabio Cannavaro, former Ballon d'Or winner, managing Uzbekistan. Please, sir, can I have a hydration break? It's not fair. He had one. That's how it is, though, isn't it? That is exactly how football works. Papa John's, I actually think you're quite hot. Never mind the US, your missus has competition. Hey, don't tempt me. Shahid says, where England are playing today in Texas, it is really hot this time of year, so need that hydration break. Adam says, I've not been an England fan with Southgate, but I think this bunch will smash Croatia tonight. Croatia are in a bit of a weird position as well. They're not quite... as if there was an onside-offside check for that Wissa goal. He was miles on. Yeah, the Croatia team that's playing against England tonight are not anything special. They're nothing special. BBC constantly reminding you to get a TV licence. Make sure you get a TV licence, folks. Foxy Key in the Matchday Tavern needs to be done. City of Northville. You need to change your username. How's it going, Oxford? Good to see you, man. Adam says, have players hydrated other side of the pitch. Oh, have players hydrated other side of the pitch away from the coaches. That's probably not a bad idea if we want to stop the tactical breaks. I mean, maybe this is just hook all the players up to a giant IV up above the stadium, like sort of where the scoreboards are. Have an IV up there and just have them all running rounds on wires hooked up to a saline drip. Conceição is coming on for Portugal to be replacing... Who's he replacing? Neto, is it? Is it Neto? No, Bernardo Silva going off. Bernardo Silva off. As we've seen this tournament so far, anything can happen. Very true. Hopefully this is the last World Cup hosted in America for the rest of our lives. Why? What's your issue with hosting it in America? Or generally in North America, since it's Canada and Mexico as well, right? Chris, going to be a quiet World Cup for me. My 2-year-old's going to be in bed during every game. Well, yeah, you've got to be very, very careful you don't shout too loud when England score. Okay, free kick, Portugal, play on. Ronaldo's here for emotional support. Sub Ronaldo and Portugal win this, says MB Gaming. I mean, there's a little bit of that, isn't there? We saw that with Brazil and Neymar, obviously. Cristiano Ronaldo, I still think is a very talented player. Admittedly, 41. Probably a limit to how much he can do. He's not the all-action player that we've seen in the past. He is just there to be in and around the box and come to life. He got 15 goals in 14 games in qualifying. So, you know, he's still very much prolific, still very much a big part of Portugal and how they play. He still played a big part in Portugal winning the 2025 Nations League as well. And they beat Germany and Spain on the way. Chimey, I think Keane explained it best. Key, can you imagine if you had to stop mid-game when you're just getting into it? I get it. I understand. But that's the same for everyone else, isn't it? It's not like some teams have to do it and every team and others don't. Every team's got to deal with it. And is it disrupting the flow of the game? Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes. We've seen teams score quite quickly after hydration breaks, haven't we? We've seen teams who are in the ascendancy and there's a hydration break and all of a sudden it settles back down again and it's all, you know, you're not quite flying anymore. Congo doing all right here already. Starting down the right-hand side. Good ball. Here's Wan-Bissaka. And it's going to go behind for the corner, is it? No, goal kick. I can't believe he doesn't get that. Frankie, all the African teams seem so strong. I can see at least 3 getting to the round of 16. Which 3? Which 3 would you say? Would you say are going to get there? Good ball, far post must be. Oh, claim for a penalty there for a moment. Does he give a penalty? No, he's give a goal kick as well. Conceição screaming for a penalty. It's a lovely ball in. No, you're not getting a pen for that. You're not getting a pen for that. I'm sorry. It's actually off his hand as well. It's off Conceição's hand. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Yeah, I mean, Ivory Coast. I think Ivory Coast, Senegal, you would have to say, have got a great chance. Morocco, probably the other one that stands out for Africa. South Africa have been a bit disappointing. The Bafana. I think Ghana, outside chance maybe with Semenyo and they've got some talented players. Urenki, we saw it against Wales. They can hurt teams. Congo, again, it's been a long time since Congo have been at the World Cup. I think success for them would just be getting through the group stage. And they've got a difficult group, haven't they? I think Portugal, Colombia, everyone would expect to go through in places 1 and 2. Uzbekistan and Congo, will one of them make the best of the third place sides? Anfield Vorsex says Trump has permission to hand over the World Cup in the final. Your thoughts, Key? I mean, I don't... I'll be honest, mate, I don't have any political thoughts at all. Genuinely, I don't. There's not a politician that for a long time that I look at and think, oh, I'd love them to be a leader. Probably not many in my lifetime, to be honest. So, yeah, from a political standpoint, Trump is about as trustworthy as most of the others. I haven't really got a horse in the race. Do I think he's a particularly nice fella? Probably not, no. But then again, he's a politician, and that's kind of the best that we produce. And I say we, like, it's an American politician, right? But that's what that's what civilization and society produces. We're getting into a bit of a deeper subject here. Generally speaking, though, I think that's what we as a society produces. Selfish people. Selfish leaders, let's say. Selfish leaders. The old way says, don't trust any of them politicians. They're all the same. It's us against them. Well, listen, they'll argue till they're blue in the face that we're all in it together and we've all got to stick together and all that. And I get it. It's a great message to send, and if it were true. But as soon as they start getting offered that to flex on certain policies and, you said you got elected on this policy, but actually if we pay you a bit of cash, then you change that policy to this because it'll be much better for our business. Yeah. Jamie Weir, good lad. Chimey says, don't worry, Oxford, one day Liverpool will compete you lot in League One. It's only a matter of time. How's it going, mate? Hello, mate. Good day. Very good, sir. How are you? Yeah, excellent day. I had my little girl's sports day this morning, and I'm now watching football with you wonderful people. Having a great day. Corner for Portugal. 52 minutes on the clock. Portugal 1, Democratic Republic of Congo 1. Congo's first World Cup in 52 years. And they're about to produce a shock if it stays this way. Portugal, outswinger, gets it all wrong. Ronaldo loses the ball. Congo clear. Too easy, that. Anfield Vortex, I really enjoy your show, mate. Always highly controversial, but very enjoyable, sir. Would you say that was controversial? I don't know if that is a controversial opinion. Or at least it's not. I'm not seeking to be controversial with it. From a politics point of view, I'm politically homeless. Let's say that. I'm politically homeless. Ball whipped over to the far side. Ronaldo can't quite win it in the air. Back to Nuno Mendes. Inside to Vitinha. Good pass to Ronaldo. Great pass inside. Mendes. Good ball. It's going to go behind, is it? No. Congo just about get it away. Wan-Bissaka clears. Frankie says Morocco, Ivory Coast and Ghana, but I can see Senegal making it. See, Senegal for me the best team. Shahid says, how did the sports day go, Key? Did your daughter win any prizes? No, mate. She's not, she's not the most competitive, but it's all about the taking part at that age. I was just glad she completed them and didn't get upset or anything. Like, she did all the races and stuff, so that's the main thing. I just enjoy your homeless show then, mate. Cheers, man. Finis Matty, don't know why they call it sports day. I wouldn't call most of it sports. Might be different at your little girl's school than it was mine. Yeah, they're like obstacle courses, aren't they? Egg and spoon race and, bean bags on your head and all that stuff. That's what it was today anyway. But like I said, this parent collapsed. One of the parents keeled over. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the heat or something, but ended up being an ambulance called. So there was no dad's race. There was no parents' race. I was gutted. I was ready. I was limbering up on the touchline, ready to go just in case they needed me. Show the kids how it's done. Please don't clip that up. It's 2-1 Portugal. It's 2-1. Is it going to be offside? I think it is. Cancelo cancelled. I kind of got cancelled if that was clipped out of context. Did VAR get involved at Sports Day? Won't be long, I feel. Well, I asked a few times. I said, whoa, hang on a minute. Can we get a check on that, please, sir? He is offside. He's miles offside. It's a good flick, though. Good bit of football from Portugal. Cancelo with the overhead kick. And goal chalked off for offside. Ball down the right-hand side. Congo with the cross. Corner. There you go. Toblerones is disappointed with Senegal. Thought they looked better without Mane. I'm surprised Iliman and Dye didn't start. I'm sure I'd be love to. I mean, Shell, what's your thoughts on Iliman and Dye and what he said before the Senegal game? Have you seen the interview that he's done? Iliman and Dye saying that he wants to play at the highest level. He wants to play in the Champions League. That'll be this channel cancelled tomorrow. Oh, no context key. Yeah, Iliman and Dye saying he wants to, maybe not that he wants to leave Everton, but he's certainly thinking about it and he wants to play at the highest level. Honestly, though, I don't see it happening. I think Everton will want a lot more money than teams will be prepared to pay for Iliman and Dye. I think how much does Iliman and Dye go for in this market? Bearing in mind, he didn't actually start for Senegal yesterday. They picked Ismail Assar over him. He had a pretty poor season for Everton. He's actually only got, I think it's... Oh, Wissa, chance off the post! Oh, it's a goal kick. Congo. It was Bakambu, actually, who ended up having the shot. Wissa with a good bit of defensive play to win the ball back off Vega. And Bakambu smashes it off the post. Congo very nearly going in front. Don't start me on Mr. and Die or the channel will be cancelled. Julia says 65 mil. 65 million quid for Iliman and Die. Oh, behave. No. Toblerone says, have Liverpool made a bid for that winger? Jan Diamand. Apparently so, yeah. Apparently he's Liverpool bound, or at least Premier League bound. Noah Siddiqui of Sunderland is on. I don't know if Charming Dan is in the chat. Our Sunderland fan. But Noah Siddiqui is on for Congo. Runs for days, that lad. But yeah, Iliman and Dye, for me, I don't think he... I can absolutely agree with him saying that he wants to move and maybe that he wants to go and play at a higher level. I've no problem with players having ambition and stuff, but he's 26. To put it into context, Everton sold Anthony Gordon for 40 million quid. Anthony Gordon, in the last 3 years, has got 66 goal involvements. 66 goal involvements for Anthony Gordon. Iliman and Dye, in the same period of time, he's older than Anthony Gordon as well, has got 29. 29 goal involvements versus 66 across a 3-year period. There's no world in which a team pays 60-odd million for a player that produces... He had 3 assists. He's had 3 assists across his last 2 seasons combined in the Premier League. VAR disallowed the win because the egg touched the floor before they got to the finish line. Nuno Mendes is down here. A little bit of a injury break. Apparently the referee's saying to him he needs to go off the pitch. Vinny Vince live. Key, it's not and Die. It is and Die. It's Iliman and Die. Shell, he shouldn't have gone missing. Had the effing season after, half the season after AFCON, then maybe he could have earned Europe instead of expecting it to fall in his lap. You reap what you sow, in my opinion, and breathe. I mean, that is fair. That is fair. And it's kind of what Romelu Lukaku did, isn't it, Shell? Romelu Lukaku took the same approach. Vinny says, Key, it's pronounced Ndji. I disagree. It's Iliman and Die. I disagree. Finners Matty, good to see Jota's parents in the stands. I think Ruth's here as well, isn't she? His wife. It's a shame, real shame, that he's not here to represent his nation. Can and die rise to the next level, says Toblerone. Not for me. I don't think I don't think he will leave Everton unless he really forces the move. If he says that if he'll throw a tantrum and he'll put a transfer request in and all, I think he'll have to do that, and only then will Everton sell him. But he's not worth the amount of money that Everton would seek. Terrible ball back in by Portugal, and it's going behind for a corner. No, goal kick. Pete says if Everton's is worth 65 million, then Maka is... Sorry. Then Maka is defo worth 200. A couple of signings and Everton can get Europe next season. But you can apply that to, I think, every team in the league, mate. I think every team in the league, you could say a couple of signings in the right place and, keep a few players fit, and they could absolutely be in Europe. I think the difficulty is that Everton, you could also say, if they get a couple of the wrong signings and they let a couple of people go, they could also be dragged down to the bottom end of the table. They've got Michael Keane signed a new contract. They've got Mikalenko signed a new contract. Both players who Evertonians have said for a while aren't good enough. Tarkovsky wasn't great last season. Jared Branthwaite's a wonderful centre-back, but he's never fit. Jake O'Brien seemed to be playing him at right-back most of the season. And Spurs, look at Spurs. Spurs were just about staying up, but they've got to a place where they finished 9 points off Europe, Spurs. And you'd have to imagine that if they'd had De Zerbi for longer, if they'd had Kulusevski or Maddison or Kudus for most of the season, Spurs would have been 9 points better off. Is that fair to say? Is that a fair argument? Even Solanke, who was missing for most of the season. If Spurs hadn't had the injuries that they had, and they'd maybe had a consistent manager through the season, I think Spurs would have still got Europe themselves. Only 9 points. Craig, any news on Leeds incomings? Leeds, haven't they bid for Ousmane Diamand from Sporting Lisbon? Apparently they've bid for him. I've seen that. Congo with the flick on near post, good header, and it's out for a goal kick. Anfield Vortex says, I'm really impressed with the speed that Tottenham are making some decent signings, Key. Well, I mean, listen, they've got Senesi, they've got Robertson, they look like they've got Van Hecke all sewn up. So that's centre-back basically sorted, isn't it? Van der Ven, Senesi, Van Hecke. Probably means Romero's going. And Tonali, if they get Tonali, my goodness me, that'd be a great signing. Be a very surprising one, though. No, I don't think any of us saw that coming, did we? Portugal down the left-hand side. Ball played back to Vitinha. They're dominating here, Portugal, but just not in the way that I thought they would. Long ball forward. Congo are really comfortable, aren't they? They're so comfortable. How many shots have we actually had here? One shot on target Portugal have had. If anything, Congo have been the better side. They've had 2 shots on target compared to Portugal's 1, and Congo have hit the post as well. I think they've also had more corners. They have. Congo have been the better side here. They've been the better side. The goalkeeper hasn't had a save to make. Not a single save for the Congolese goalkeeper and Mpassienzao. Lionel Mpassienzao, the Le Havre goalkeeper. Anfield Vortex says Tonali to Liverpool, Key. If we nick his ball, do you think he'd be good for us? He's not a signing I would want at Liverpool, no. I'm not a lover of Tonali. I think he's good, but again, the amount of money you'd have to pay to get him. Chimey, Chelsea still selling Palmer? I mean, they might need to. No Europe. Xabi Alonso might look at... He certainly doesn't fit the profile of a Xabi Alonso system player. Not really got the pace for a Xabi Alonso system. There was a lot of rumours linking Chelsea to Wirtz, wasn't there? That they'd maybe make a play for Florian Wirtz from Liverpool. I really don't... That's obviously not going to happen, but... think they do need someone with a bit more dynamism, maybe. Cole Palmer's a wonderful player, glides about, but just doesn't really have the pace that they need in those areas. Portugal play the ball back. Here's Vitinha. Chelsea's finances are so much worse than people understand. They're definitely on the cusp of a few, fines, or they need to maybe make a couple of player sales. Same with Villa though, isn't it? Aston Villa apparently have got a £40 million deficit that they've got to make up very quickly. I think by the end of July, Villa have got to make up a £40 million deficit, and that's why everyone's talking about Morgan Rogers to Arsenal. They might have to sell Morgan Rogers in order to bridge that gap. And he's the obvious one to sell, isn't it? Craig says, mate, has anyone ever said you sound just like Simon Wilson? I've been told I look like Simon Wilson. Not sure about sound like Simon Wilson. Simon Wilson's Welsh. I'm nowhere near Wales. Jellyfish says they are playing to lob balls into Ronaldo. It's pathetic. I mean, that is how Portugal play. Like I said, they have the most crosses of any side at the Euros. This is how they play. Pedro Neto, get into wide areas and putting the ball into the box. But the fullbacks of Congo have been terrific. It's a dive from Neto. Ref's not having it. Great run from Congo. Excellent run. And I think that's going to be a foul, is it? Oh. Referee's not happy with something there. I think it was Nuno Mendes just having a little word with Mutasami. Yeah, there was kind of a scissor tackle there on the floor. Pedro Neto got brought down there. Was that a foul? I don't think it was. Again, I'm not sure it was a dive, but it wasn't a foul. And then Nuno Mendes shoves Chancel Mbemba to the floor. And as he goes down, yeah, Vega and Wissa just having it out. Bruno Fernandes in the mix of it, as always. No surprise Bruno Fernandes involved when there's handbags. He loves a bit of handbags, doesn't he, Bruno Fernandes? Chimey, I'd love Rodgers at United. We know Aston Villa need to sell. We know that Villa need to sell. But how much money? How much money does Morgan Rogers go in this market? 120 million feels like an awful lot to me. I'm not sure 120 million's value for Morgan Rogers. Good player, talented player. Tuchel likes him. I think there's a world where he actually starts tonight, maybe Morgan Rogers over Bellingham. Fascinated to see that England lineup. We should see it actually in the next half hour. Maybe by the end of this game, we might know the England lineup. Oh, great ball. Portugal are in. Must be Ronaldo. I can't believe he doesn't let that go. Oh, Ronaldo's took it off the toes. Who was it behind him? Was it Fernandes? Who was it behind him? Conceição gets in. He pulls the ball back. And I tell you what, if there's just a little bit of talking, I think it is Bruno Fernandes, isn't it? Oh, Bruno, you've got to talk to him. You've got to talk to him there. And that would have been 2-1 Portugal. Oh, what is he doing? How's it going, Mercury? Mercury, when I saw you all for the Iraq-Norway match, I was sitting in the hospital with my 73-year-old dad. Oh, I'm sorry, mate. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope your old man's okay. Is he still in the hospital? I mean, don't feel like you have to talk about it, but I hope he's okay. I really do. Sending love, mate. I hope you're all right. Craig says, so what's going on with Trent? Why can't he get in the England setup? Crazy. Thomas Tuchel just doesn't like... I don't think he likes inverted fullbacks. I think that's... You're kind of seeing that on the left-hand side. He's not picked Lewis Hall. He's not picked any sort of conventional fullbacks. You know, Reece James he's picked because he's used him at Chelsea, but Reece James has spent a lot of time at Chelsea this year at centre mid. It feels like Tuchel wants tall fullbacks. He wants, Dan Burn. He wants, players that can moonlight at centre-back a little bit as well. Even Nico O'Reilly. Nico O'Reilly could maybe play inside. Trent Alexander-Arnold, obviously defensively. I think Trent Alexander-Arnold's a very, very good defender as well as a good attacker, but Tuchel's made it quite clear he doesn't really rate him defensively and he can't rely on him, so I don't think it was that much of a surprise, was it, when Tuchel didn't pick Trent? Aftab says, guys, hydration break quiz. Which manager won the World Cup as a player and a manager? There's a couple who've done that, haven't there? Didier Deschamps has done that. But I think there's another one who's a couple who've done that. I'm sure there are. Didier Deschamps has certainly done it. Who was manager in Brazil? Won it in 2002. Was it Scolari? Wasn't it? Scolari hasn't won it with Brazil as a player. I don't know. Didier Deschamps, Beckenbauer. I don't think Beckenbauer won the World Cup, did they? As a manager. Did he? German manager was Joachim Löw. But yeah, Didier Deschamps is the obvious. Well, Rafa Leao's coming on. Who's Rafa Leao come on for? Neto, maybe? Nelson Semedo's on for Nuno Mendes. Pedro Neto it is. Pedro Neto off. Mario Zagallo with Brazil. Did Mario Zagallo win it as a player? Again, I'm not sure, you know. Don't think Maradona won it as a manager. Yeah, two. Mario Zagallo won 2 as a player, 1 as a manager. 1970 as a manager, 2 in 58 and 62. He was also an assistant manager, Mario Zagallo, in 1994 when Brazil won it. So technically, he's won it twice on the coaching staff and twice as a player. Beckenbauer won it in 90. Of course he did, yeah, Italia 90. I always forget that he was manager at Italia 90. See, this is the thing. This is the thing with quizzes. Mercury, you can't just say which manager won the World Cup as a player and as a manager if there's been about 4. Adam says, don't shake Joachim Löw's hand if you meet him. Just wave from afar. Oh, he likes picking his nose, scratching his bum. Does all that, doesn't he, during the game, Joachim Löw? He'd have never got away with managing in the Premier League, would he? Just going like that, full on scratching his bum and then going, fuck, can't believe he actually got away with that on camera. Best ever World Cup was 1990. Craig says lineups are in. Oh, go on, England, Croatia, lineups are in. Let's have a look. Starting lineups. Pickford starts in goal. Portugal are in. Ball pulled back. Ronaldo! Claim for a penalty. He's not getting it. It's gone behind. And I think there's a claim for a corner as well. I don't think he's going to get that either. So, Pickford in goal. It is Reece James at right back, Ezri Konsa and John Stones in the centre. Nico O'Reilly does start at left back. In midfield, it's Elliot Anderson, Declan Rice and Jude Bellingham. Anthony Gordon off the left. Noni Madueke starts off the right with Harry Kane, captain, through the middle. For Croatia, they've got Livakovic in goal, Gvardiol, Stanisic, Sucic, Sutalo, Vuskovic, of course, at the back as well. Perisic, Martin Bacharina's one to watch out for, Modric, and Petar Musa, the big tall forward who's playing for FC Dallas. 12 goals in 13 games for FC Dallas last season. Good lineup, that. Mercury says, we got him out, been dealing with a situation where he's been in and out of a catheter, been a 2-week adventure, 3rd time in within the last 2 weeks. Oh, that's got to be hard. It's got to be hard, mate. Just frustrated. I'm trying to convince my parents to get stuff sorted. Yeah, it's tough. 73 and 70, bless him. Got to look after your parents, though, mate. This is it. They looked after us when we were younger. You've got to look after your mum and dad. Big respect to you. Finners Matty says, no Gay, no Rashford. Saka carrying an injury, apparently. Yeah, there's quite a few players on the bench that I maybe thought might have got a start. No Gay is the big one. Portugal in the area. Congo again. Excellent defending. Shell says, we always think we know best as parents, Mercury. Congo now on the counter. What a pass that was. Great interception. So close to Congo getting through. Chimey, I like Tuchel. He knows you can't win a World Cup with a Liverpool player. Hey, Liverpool players are topping the goal contribution charts at this World Cup quite comfortably. It's all Liverpool players. What a ball that is. Semedo. Oh, he pulled the ball back into a good area. But again, Congo reading it really well. Here's Vega. Good run. Vitinha. Congo just about squeezing away. That's much better. Absolutely fantastic. Takey says, Key, can you read the lineup again? Go on. I'll read the lineup again. So, Pickford in goal for England. It's Reece James, Ezri Konsa, John Stones, and Nico O'Reilly completing the back four. In midfield, it's Elliot Anderson and Declan Rice. Jude Bellingham in the 10. Anthony Gordon off the left. Noni Madueke off the right. Harry Kane is centre forward. For Croatia. It's because I saw Stanisic is playing. Stanisic starts for Croatia. But it's Livakovic in goal. It's Gvardiol, Perisic, Sutalo, Vuskovic, Sucic of Inter Milan, Stanisic in front, Perisic, Pasalic, Luka Modric, Martin Bacciarina is one to watch out for. Here's Bakambu now. Congo on the counter-attack. If they get this right, they've got a 3-on-3. They've got an overload here. Pull back, Bakambu. Oh, you got to get that on target. You got to get that on target. John Stones. Why? What's your issue with John Stones? That was a huge chance, that, for Bakambu. Got to do well there. Congo have done really well today. All Boxed Up says Beckenbauer didn't win with the same country as a player and a manager. Player with West Germany and as a manager with Germany. There was a difference. That's true. I mean, to be fair, they didn't. The question wasn't won it with the same country, but that's a very fair point. Adam says, remember when you were playing football at school, you always had that one player goal hanging, not helping his teammates out. Remind you of anyone? Why are you trying to dig Ronaldo out today? Here's Rafael. Stands it up. Over to the far side. Conte Sao. Strike. Deflection. Corner, I think. No. Leao. Poor touch. United can have him. Congo do really well on the counter. Great touch from Bakambu. That's going to be a free kick as well. I thought Rashford would have started, to be honest, as Ryan Takey says if Madueke had an end product, he'd be class. Do you know what? Madueke, I agree. I think, obviously, he misses the open net against Costa Rica in the friendly the other day. I think that's typical Madueke, isn't it? All the build-up looks brilliant, but just can't quite finish it off when he needs to. Sarah, can we please smash the like button? And if you're new, please subscribe. Very kind of you, Sarah. Yeah, thank you if you haven't already. Please do hit the like, subscribe if you're new around here. We love you lots. Trying to get to that magic 1K after restarting the channel. 3 weeks. 3 weeks. We're still flying. All hype is Leao. Heard Somerville coming to United. Yeah, I mean, personally, as a Liverpool fan, I wouldn't want either of them. But I wouldn't mind United getting Leao. I think he's kind of another Rashford, isn't he? I did think we would see if Madueke isn't able to start. Sorry, if Saka isn't able to start on that right hand side, I thought he might go with a different approach rather than Madueke. What a ball down the right hand side. This is Conte Sal's in. He's got Ronaldo in the middle. If he's onside, that's got to be a free kick, ref. And now he's offside. It was a free kick, but he's given the offside. It's sad thinking Elise could have played for England, says Ryan. Yeah, that's true. It's very true. Yeah, Tiki, what would your England team be? So, personally, mate, I would have probably gone with... I think I'd have gone with Gay over Konza. I think Gay and Stones is my, like, ideal starting back four. And I think I would have tried to find a way to get Morgan Rogers in there. I do like Rashford for England, but I think Anthony Gordon is the standout one on that left-hand side. I'm not a massive fan of Madueke. 1,000 boiled eggs. Good to see you, man. Thank you very much, sir. Very kind of you. It's very impressive, Key, after only 3 weeks on a new channel. To be honest, it's because the World Cup's so saturated. I think we'd have done a lot better if it was started at the start of a Premier League season. I think we'd already be on a couple of thousand by now. Because we were averaging 5,000 new subscribers a month. Just 3 months ago, we were getting 5,000 new subs a month. Across January, February, March, April. So it was flying. But obviously the getting to the brand new channel, it was always going to slow things down. So YouTube has to kind of learn whether or not we're trustworthy on the new channel. So we'll see. All Arsenal fans. I won't go that far. There was actually, to be honest, there's quite a lot in the during the AFCON. We did really well during the AFCON. That's kind of what got everything flying. And then, to be honest, United fans, as much as Arsenal fans come in and have a win, United fans love coming in and saying, "Oh, all you do is talk about United. All you do is give us stick." Well, yeah, because I'm a Liverpool fan, you donut. This is what Liverpool fans do. Same as United fans give us shit. This is what happens. Craig, do you only stream on here now, Key? No, mate, I'm live everywhere. I'm live over on YT. That's where the full setup is, really, where the overlay is and everything. Looks a bit nicer over on there. If you search Key Thomas on YT, search Key Thomas. The Matchday Tavern, it's called. You can go and find me over there. I'm live right now. I'm live for England-Croatia straight after this one. I'm also live for Uzbekistan-Colombia at 3 a.m. this morning. Great ball. Conte, Sao, how's he give that as a foul? Jesus Christ, ref. That's poor. Finners Matty says, imagine Kane and Haaland starting up top together with Elise on the wing and Bellingham in the 10. Charmy, we're always nice though, Key. Yeah, and I'm always nice, aren't I? We're all nice. We're all good. Brian Hendricks says PSV Eindhoven. Oh, you're an Eindhoven fan, are you? Good lad. Don't mind PSV. Bit more of a Feyenoord fan myself if I'm talking about a Dutch team. I like Feyenoord. Adam says, ever consider it that heat in Dallas to play big boys second half? Maybe Kane would affect the game coming on against tired legs. Goncalo Ramos for Vitinha. Speaking of tired legs and trying to win it late in the second half, that's exactly what Portugal are trying to do. I mean, listen, we've got plenty of pace off the bench, haven't we? Saka can come on, Rashford can come on, Rodgers can come on. You know, there's Ivan Toney that you can throw on if you need something a bit different up the top end. Ryan says they've got to take Ronaldo off. It's just sad at this point. So that's a good... Oh, lucky. Long ball over the top. Bakambu chasing it down. I think he was offside there anyway. The old way says, learned all my Dutch from Steve McLaren. Steve. Learn Dutch from Steve McLaren and your French from Joey Barton. And your Spanish from David Moyes. Well, you know, we tried some different things. Uno, dos, tres times. Ben says, what time are you sleeping? We're staying up for the 3 a.m. games. So, I'm probably going to go to bed after England. I'll go to bed at like 11 o'clock when England goes off. Go and have a couple of hours. Wake up at 2 and stream the Uzbekistan-Colombia game. Unless I'm feeling like mega awake, and then I'll stay all the way awake through to 5. Cheers, Craig. Thank you very much, mate. Not Premier League Dad, no. Premier League Dad is the original channel. I'm now at the Matchday Tavern. If you search the Matchday Tavern, you'll find me over there, mate. Mr. Chris Floyd, you not got a proper job? Not anymore, mate. No, I quit to do this. It's good fun. It's good fun. Never not had a job, but this is even better. This is great fun. Mercury says, so what I learned yesterday is Messi's still an animal, and that second Mbappe goal was sick. Here's Rafa Leao all the way back to Diogo Costa. Nelson Semedo now carries it forward. Last 5 minutes for Portugal. John Portelli. John, have you ever thought maybe if you've got a good point, you probably shouldn't try and make it in caps locks? Kind of weakens your argument a little bit, mate, if I'm being dead honest. Mr. Chris Floyd, being an Arsenal fan. Oh, what a surprise, you're an Arsenal fan. What a surprise. It's rare you see Arsenal fans come on and be absolute bellends to start with. You don't usually get an awful lot of that. But then again, normally it is, if you're a bit of a coward, you'll come in and be a bit, you know... You'll be rude. You'll be rude to start off with. Don't know why people can't just come in and be sound. Just come in and be sound. Just be a nice person. Just be decent. Instead of coming in and being a little bellwith. John Portelli, Gooners forever. Yeah, you certainly look like a gooner, mate. I think we'd all agree with that. Probably too much gooning for you, I think. Stop the gooning if you can. It's not good for you. Congo nicking a winner here. We all hope for it, I think. Portugal are flying. But they're just not really killing them off. They've got the ball, all the ball. Rafa Leao, that's so poor. So poor. 87 on the clock. Big last 3 minutes. Portugal need to do something. They've got to force the issue a little bit. They've got Ronaldo. They've got Ramos on the pitch. How's it going, C. Wheatley? Portugal most corners. Have they had most corners? I don't know if they have, actually. I had Portugal have most corners, but I don't think they have. Oh, I need a Portugal corner. I need a Portugal corner in the next few minutes, please, for the love of God. Neil says, why can't we all be a bunch of friends sitting down to watch a nice footy match, like in any other tavern? To be honest, it's just that people don't really know how to communicate when they're having a bit of a bad day. They tend to come in and just be angry. Doing good till I start watching us be a nervous wreck. How's yourself, mate? I'm good, mate, thank you. Much better for sitting watching the football with you fine people. Aftab, I'm going to go and sleep after this. Won't be in for the England game. No worries, mate. Go and get your sleep. Look after yourself. Might see you for the Uzbekistan-Colombia game if you're about. Adam says, nice to hear TikTok chat is still as unhinged as always. It's kids, innit, mate? It's all kids. The kids come in and they start just giving grief. Just start with giving grief. It's never grown adults. It's kids. Or adults who are just very deeply unhappy. So I can't really feel too disappointed, feel too angry at them. They're just very sad. I feel sorry for them more than anything. Lovely ball over the top. There's a big chance. Keeper comes out. Good goalkeeping. Well done. Excellent goalkeeping. Ball over to the right-hand side. Backhand boot. Congo keep it in. They're still pushing here. They're still pushing. A lot of these players, you would think, might be able to play themselves into a big move. Now, there's a lot of players in this side who are in leagues that you wouldn't necessarily associate with World Cups. Mutasami's been a really good player for Congo today in the middle of the park. He plays for the Tromitos in Greece. The centre-backs have been absolute units, haven't they, for Congo? Steve Capuardi plays for Lodz in Poland. Ball whipped in. Here he is again. Capuardi heads it away. I need a Portugal corner. Desperately need a Portugal corner. Need a Vitinha to have a good game for my fantasy team. How many minutes added on? 5. 5 added minutes for us to deal with this. To see if Portugal can do something, anything. Just need a corner kick for Portugal. That's all I'm hanging on for here. A corner kick. Give us a chance. Anything. AC Milan are going to activate the buyback clause for Francesco Camada. That's breaking news from Fabrizio Romano. Here's Conceição on the right-hand side. Come on, let's get a corner for Portugal. Ball played in. No! Cleared away. Dirty lead, says Portugal have been poor, I think, in this one. They haven't been brilliant, have they? They've certainly not been brilliant. Sam, who's been the better team, Key? Congo, by some distance as well. They've had more shots on target than Portugal. They've hit the post. Ronaldo header. Over to Rafael on the far side. Portugal pushing late on. It's still 1-1. 4 minutes of added time to go. But Congo defended well. When they've attacked, they've hurt Portugal. Whoa, there's handbags on the touchline here. Cedric Bakambu having a little row with the Portuguese players on the touchline. Lots of handbags in this game. They don't like losing, do they? And now, oh, what a ball. That might be a red. It's a yellow card. I tell you what, there's a claim for a red card here. Johan Wisser, he's running through, and Thomas Araujo, the Benfica centre-back, he's just gone like that. He just elbowed him in the face. That looks like a red to me. Congolese fans are looking around saying, what's going on? He's through on goal here. Oh, he's absolutely forearmed him. That's a Ben Thatcher. Oh, it looks... I mean, that's a clothesline to me. I'm sorry. That's a clothesline. I think that should be a red. I do think that should be a red. It's not going to get VAR checked. I think it should be, but it isn't going to get. It isn't going to get handball. It isn't going to get VAR checked. But it probably should be for me. That is a clothesline from hell, says Ian. It was JBL clothesline from hell. Lex Luger absolutely left one on Johan Wisser there, and he was clean through. 2 minutes to go. Big 2 minutes. Sam, who do you think will win the World Cup? I mean, I still think Spain. They weren't great against Cape Verde, but for me, I'll stick with Spain. Vinnie Jones tackle, that says Ben. Red card, in my opinion, that says Shell. There we go. Big 2 minutes left. Can Portugal nick it? K1, will there be another goal in this game? No, I don't think so, mate. I don't think so. Not in the next 2 minutes. I can't see it. Don't take my word for it, obviously, but in my opinion, no. SB 1991, why Spain? I just think they're the best. They've got the best squad. They've got the best attacking players. I just think they've got the best players. And the best... Oh, is that a corner? Is it a corner? Yeah! Get in there! We've got a corner! That's all I needed. Portugal have won the corners. That's a big win for me. I'm made up with that one. I had Portugal or draw, over 1.5, Portugal to win the corners. And it was 4-4 going into the last minute. It's now 5-4 to Portugal on corners. Great ball. Edge of the box. Good claim from the Congolese keeper. Oh, and he's give it the old Alisson Becker and dropped to his floor. Come on, what's he going for? Why have you done that? Oh, do you know what? I've just seen shades of Nick Pope. Shades of Nick Pope there. If they score off this goalkeeper is going to get... Oh, no, he's not. Terrible pass from Bruno Fernandes. What a shame. Here's Johan Wisser. What a run this is. Go on, Wisser. Great defending. Excellent defending from Conceição. And it's gone out for a throw-in on the far side. Kyle says Portugal have no chemistry in my opinion, but I could be wrong. I don't disagree with you, buddy. Really don't. There's only 15 seconds left. Johan Wisser and Conceição head-to-head here. There's a little, again, handbags. Lots and lots of scraps in this game. Little scraps going on. Congolese are made up with it, though. A point out of Portugal. They've got Uzbekistan and Colombia to play, and it's full time. They've blown up. They've blown up. Portugal have dropped 2 points, you'd have to say. Roberto Martínez not best pleased with that one. Wow. Cristiano Ronaldo not happy either. Looks a very, very frustrated figure. Right. I'm going to be back in about half an hour for England. England-Croatia. The lineups are already out for that one. We will just go through them very briefly. The England lineups are out, so let's go through them. Jordan Pickford in goal. Reece James right back. Konza, Stones at centre-back. Nico O'Reilly at left-back. And then it's Elliot Anderson, Declan Rice, Jude Bellingham in the midfield three. Madueke off the right. Anthony Gordon off the left. Harry Kane at centre-forward. For Croatia, it's Livakovic in goal. Back three of Vuskovic, Gvardiol and Sutalo. Perisic off the left. Stanisic off the right. Luka Modric and Inter's Sucic, Petar Sucic sitting. And then it's Pasalic and Martin Baturina, one to watch out for in this World Cup, with Petar Musa, the prolific striker from FC Dallas. And the game's in Texas, right? So, should be a really, really good game. England versus Croatia. I'm going to be live for that one. And I will be back in about 30 minutes for that. If you want to make sure, please do drop me a follow. I'm live pretty much every single game throughout this World Cup. We're live for Uzbekistan versus Colombia at 3 a.m. as well in the early hours of tomorrow morning. Make sure you head over to YouTube as well. Key Thomas at the Matchday Tavern. You get a much better view over there. Much better overlay scoreboard. We have quizzes and all sorts going on over there. So check me out. Key Thomas at the Matchday Tavern. If you've not already, hit like and subscribe. Thank you very much, everyone on YouTube and Twitch and everywhere else. I will be back in about 45 minutes, there or thereabouts, for England versus Croatia for the big one. Take it easy. See you all soon.